Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa. Oh my goodness, theatre is alive and well in Ottawa and the Ottawa Valley. We talked about Menopause, the musical too, that's playing at the Gladstone until I believe June 4th. I'm going to it tonight. But as I said, theatre is just booming everywhere. And here to tell us more about what's happening at the Russell Association for the Performing Arts, I'm joined by actor Sam Van Dusen. Sam, welcome. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
We're just talking a little bit about your background, and that's probably a good starting point. You mentioned, that you've been doing this for a while. Did you start like when you were younger in high school? When did you fall in love with theatre?
Yeah, good question. I grew up in Russell, Ontario, just east of Ottawa here, and got into theatre actually through RAPA, the Russell Association of the Performing Arts, when I was probably in elementary school, and I think my first show was Cinderella, so got involved there, and that kind of gave me the passion. And then as I got into high school, started doing more and more of it, and then pursued it in university as well, at Queen's University, did theatre there. And then worked in the industry for a couple of years after university, up until 2020, with the pandemic kind of slowed things down. But
no kidding. Tell me specifically about the Russell Association for the Performing Arts. Who makes up the association, and a little bit about it.
Yeah, so it was founded in 1989 in Russell, and it is a community-based theatre just east of Ottawa here, and it involves, they put on about 2 shows every year, one in the spring, which we're doing right now, and then they do one closer to the holidays, kind of in late fall. So it's made up of a board of about 10 or 12 people. Okay. And so we go through a process of picking a show, and then finding a director, and then holding auditions, getting a cast. It's usually about a 2-month rehearsal period, and then we put on the show for a week.
It's amazing, the dedication. I mean, you're all volunteers. You're doing this because you absolutely love it. You mentioned your spring show. It's Ken Ludwig's Lend Me a Tenor. Tell me about this. What type of show are we talking about?
So this one is a farce. It's very funny. If you come out and see it, you'll definitely have some laughs. Nice. But it's a farce. It is about a theater company in Cleveland, an opera house, that's celebrating their anniversary. So they invite the world's most famous tenor to come give this performance of Pagliacci, which is an opera. And the opera singer shows up, the famous tenor, and a bunch of things start to happen. I don't want to give too much away, but all these mishaps where the opera singer disappears and people have to step in and the performance must go on. But all this while, there's slamming doors. They call it a slam door comedy because there's 10 or 5 or 6 different doors on the set that are constantly opening and closing, and people are coming in and going out. So it's really a blast.
Is it one of those sort of look behind the scenes style where you're seeing both what's happening behind the scenes and the performance going on stage?
Well, you never really see the show, the performance in the show. So it's all kind of the mishaps that are happening around. Nice. So it really is a ball. Yeah.
Tell me about your role, your character. How would you describe it?
So I'm playing the role of Max, and he is the assistant to the manager of the opera house, and he's kind of like an underestimated, quiet, awkward guy who kind of is kind of dating the manager's daughter, and he kind of gets roped into this performance. He's been put in charge to take care of this tenor, make sure this famous tenor has everything that he needs, make sure he gets some rest, and in making sure he gets some rest, he kind of gets roped into the performance, I think, a little bit more than he expected to. It's a great character. I've had a blast kind of bringing him to life and getting to perform him on stage.
Tell me about some of the other characters.
Yeah, so it's an interesting mix of characters. Like I said, the manager is kind of this boisterous, hard-headed, manager who is always on top of Max, making sure that he's getting everything right. Then there's the manager's daughter, Maggie, who is in love with this tenor, is a big kind of fangirl, and is trying to get a glimpse of him whenever she can. And then there's kind of a mix. There's this crazy bellhop who's always coming in and out and causing problems. The tenor's wife who's this very dramatic Italian woman who's making jokes all the time. So it really is an interesting mix of cast. Yeah.
Tell me about that experience. I was saying to you that I grew up in theater, and you just sort of those relationships are so important, right? Because you have to put so much trust into each other, and it's almost like you become a family, right? For those 2 months. Tell me what that's like.
Yeah, it's I've done in theater for quite a few years now, and it's one of the only things where you kind of get a group of strangers come into a room, and they have to drop their guard and like you said, learn to trust each other. And it is really, you're spending almost 5 days a week with these people for a couple months, however long rehearsal is. And then when you get on stage, it really is amazing how you do just fully trust your castmates. If, for heaven forbid, you forget a line or something happens on stage, you can trust that someone's going to pick it up, or, if something gets dropped, they're there to help you. So it really is, like you said, a family. And I couldn't... I'm very happy with the cast we have on this one. We've grown really close. We have a lot of fun. So
now that you're doing it again, you mentioned that you were, that this was, a career, right? Does this, when you get back into something like this, does it sort of inspire you to go, geez, I wouldn't mind going down that path again?
Yeah, it's tough. I do, I took a break obviously over the pandemic, and then did one show before this one, just at the end of last year, and it really did kind of give me that bug again, and I, relit that passion. So I get tempted, but it's one of those, it's tough, theater's great when you're working, but when you're not, it's a bit quiet. But if the right thing came along, I'm sure I might be able to
It's true, it's so challenging. I mean, and finding the time to go to auditions while you're trying to put food on the table and paying your rent and that kind of thing. And often those auditions are in Toronto, Montreal, right? That sort of thing. Tell everyone at home where they can get tickets and what the run is.
Sure, so you can get tickets at rappa.ca, www.rappa.ca. And the run is from May 27th, so this Saturday, until June 3rd. So it'll run Saturday, Sunday. We'll have Monday off, and then we go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, terrific.
And then Sunday is a matinee, so it's a great opportunity. We're kind of marketing it as a bit of a seniors day. Like we're offering complimentary tea, cookies, and stuff. So
terrific.
Great opportunity to come see Russell. Have a nice bite.
Go to the farmer's market.
Exactly.
Make a day of it. We were just there last weekend. Actually, my wife and I. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.